What's up, everyone? This is Be Well Informed, and today we're going to be talking about the three major. I'm trying to find a way to steady this. Okay. The three major dimensions that improve awareness. So what does this mean? Three major dimensions that improve awareness. So there are about three major dimensions that if you don't really use them, you're not really going to gain a whole lot of heightened awareness and wisdom, because wisdom is not understanding. A lot of people think that wisdom is understanding, but actually wisdom is more complicated, and it is very much one of those things that you really can't get out of a book. I mean, you can get some books that have wisdom in it, but that itself isn't necessarily going to be helping you all that much, because wisdom itself is more complicated, as I said. So I might go into that in another episode. For now, let's go into this one. So there's three dimensions of awareness itself. One of those dimensions is called observation, which is pretty obvious, right? You're observing the present moment. You're observing what the present moment is. What is happening in the present moment. The second level of the awareness, or second dimension that improves awareness, is understanding. Understanding is basically, you read a book, you understand its message, that type of thing. That's pretty simple. But the third sort of level that improves awareness or improves wisdom is called discernment. And discernment is very complicated to really go into, because in order to really understand it, you really have to do a lot of things and understand a lot of things to really get this idea of discernment, because it's not just an intellectual process like understanding is. It takes intellectual understandings and uses them, but it isn't necessarily an intellectual process. For the most part it is, but it's not just about intellectual processes. It's actually more, so it's more about using your understandings effectively in the present moment. So if you're basically what discernment is using the present moment understanding that you have appropriately and effectively. That takes work. It takes time to do, because you have to know what's appropriate, what's effective. You have to know what works. You have to know, you have to understand a lot of things, because a lot of the things that we understand aren't necessarily going to be suited to what you're doing. Um, you have to understand that, what works. I said that already, but you have to understand how to apply these understandings. Um, so, if you have the understanding that knowledge, or not knowledge, hold on. So basically, you have this idea, and it's not wrong idea, right? That your mind, your ego, is very needy, clinging, craving, and this causes you problems. If you understand this, if you have that understanding, that's one thing. But if you are trying to understand, or not really trying to understand, but if you're trying to deal with this, there, pretty much everything that we've learned isn't really going to help with this process. If it can even really be fixed at all, but that's another subject. So you have the discernment that you really have to use to come to these levels of understanding, to higher levels of understanding, because it's not just about using what you've learned to apply to them better and whatnot, but actually using discernment. Itself it actually increases understanding. The more that you understand how to work with discernment, the more that you understand how to use discernment, the more that you understand, the more that you use this, the more awareness can kind of like go, oh, that's why that's doing that. And then you can kind of basically just keep going with this practice. Awareness is actually probably one of the greatest gifts that we have as humans, as self-aware humans, because without awareness, we couldn't actually fix any of the problems that we have. That's a very fundamental point, because we are so we're looking for, used to awareness, that we don't actually realize how miraculous awareness actually is. It's an episode in itself. Awareness doesn't really have definable qualities. It doesn't really have these dimensions in themselves, discernment and understanding. But in order to really get a lot out of awareness, you have to understand. You have to use discernment. But at the ultimate level, awareness is actually dimensionless. One way to find this and see this is to just relax all the tension that's in your body, and your mind. Think of it this way, like relax all the tension in your mind. There's a place that you'll eventually go, where you can actually feel, in a lot of senses, awareness. The sense of I am is basically what awareness is, and you can really feel this. You can do this in multiple ways. You can ask the question, "Am I aware?" And you look at this, and you can look at that for a long period of time, or you can relax all that attention that you're directing into the world, as it is in the moment right now. God damn it! Hold up. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, and you could. There we go. Yeah, it didn't work, but whatever. You could do this more and more often. What this does is it actually is you're actually being put back into awareness itself. You're cradled back into awareness. And when you're cradled back into awareness, because basically what attention is so think of awareness as like an ocean, a deep, deep, deep ocean, and the attention itself is like a big stretch of wave that's like trying to stretch out as much and as far as it can to pay attention to something, or maybe it's relaxed attention. And of course, there's the thoughts as well. That actually, one of the things I've noticed is that thoughts, without attention, thoughts don't really have the power that they do, as much power, anyways. So when you're relaxed, that tension, that wave goes back into its source, which is awareness. So that's the dimensionless aspect of awareness. Anyways, this is Be Well Informed. I hope you like this video. Going to be making other videos like this sometime today, probably closer to night, but we'll see what happens. I'll talk to you in the next one.